The massive alien fleet drifted helplessly through the dark void of space. 300 ships, each one a marvel of advanced technology, now reduced to floating metal boxes. Admiral Blue stood on the command bridge of the flagship, his 4 eyes fixed on the swirling purple anomaly that had trapped them. The strange cloud of energy stretched as far as their sensors could detect, surrounding them completely. "Status report," Blue commanded, his voice steady despite the growing concern in his chest. "All quantum drives are still non-responsive." "Admiral," reported his chief engineer, "whatever this anomaly is, it's blocking all our advanced propulsion systems. Even our backup drives are useless." Blue walked to the main viewport, his tall frame casting a shadow across the polished floor. The galactic fleet was the pride of their civilization, equipped with technology that could bend space and time. Yet here they were, stopped by what looked like a simple energy cloud. "Try the emergency quantum beacons again," he ordered. The crew rushed to comply, but Blue already knew what would happen. Like everything else on their ships that used quantum technology, the beacons would fail. The bridge fell silent as another attempt failed. Only the soft hum of life support systems filled the air. Blue thought about the 100,000 crew members spread across his fleet. They had enough food and supplies to last a year. But being stranded in deep space was not how he planned to spend that time. "Sir," called out his sensor officer, "I'm picking up some unusual signals from a nearby star system." Blue turned around. "What kind of signals?" "They're primitive, Admiral. Radio waves, and what appears to be artificial satellites using chemical propulsion." The crew exchanged confused looks. Nobody used radio waves or chemical rockets anymore. Those technologies were thousands of years old, replaced by quantum communications and drives centuries ago. "Show me," Blue commanded. A holographic display appeared in the center of the bridge, showing a small solar system. The third planet from its sun was clearly inhabited, covered in lights on its night side. Hundreds of small satellites orbited the world, along with what appeared to be a small space station. "Life signs?" Blue asked. "Billions, sir. They appear to be bipedal mammals. Their technology level is, well, it's barely space age. They're still using combustion engines and silicon-based computers." Under normal circumstances, Blue would have ignored such a primitive civilization. Their own people had moved past such basic technology ages ago. But these were not normal circumstances. "Can we contact them using their radio technology?" His communications officer looked startled. "I suppose we could, sir. We'd have to reconfigure our systems to generate such basic signals. But it's possible." "Do it," Blue ordered, "and find out everything you can about these people." As his crew worked, Blue studied the planet more closely. The inhabitants called it Earth, and called themselves humans. Their civilization was young, having only recently learned to leave their planet's atmosphere. They still fought wars among themselves, and burned fossil fuels for energy. Yet something about them caught Blue's attention. Their space programs, while primitive, showed remarkable ingenuity. They had managed to reach their moon using nothing but chemical rockets and basic computers. They had sent probes to the edges of their solar system with technology that belonged in a museum. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "I'm picking up more detailed transmissions from the planet. These humans, they're surprisingly resourceful. They've accomplished things with their limited technology that they shouldn't have been able to do." Blue nodded slowly. Perhaps that was exactly what they needed right now. All their advanced technology was useless in this anomaly. But these humans, with their primitive but proven methods— "Prepare a distress message," Blue commanded. "Use their radio frequencies. Tell them who we are and what has happened." "Admiral," his second-in-command stepped forward. "Are you sure about this? They're primitives. They can barely reach their own moon." Blue turned all 4 eyes to his officer. "Sometimes, old friend, the simplest solution is the best one. And right now, these primitives might be our only hope." As the message was prepared, Blue watched the blue-green planet spin slowly in the holographic display. His people had long ago forgotten how to solve problems without advanced technology. Perhaps it was time to learn from those who still remembered the old ways. The distress call was sent, traveling across space at the speed of light. Now all they could do was wait, and hope these humans were as resourceful as they appeared to be. Captain Tom drifted through the International Space Station's observation module, sipping his morning coffee from a sealed pouch. He gazed at Earth below, enjoying the peaceful moment before his daily duties began. The station's orbit had just taken them over the Pacific Ocean, its vast blue waters gleaming in the morning sun. The peace was shattered by an urgent beeping from the communications panel. "Captain," called out his communications officer through the intercom. "You need to see this immediately." Tom pushed off the wall and floated quickly through the station's modules toward the communications center. The sudden urgency in his officer's voice meant something serious had happened. "What have we got?" he asked, pulling himself into the cramped communications room. "Sir, we're picking up a signal. It's like nothing I've ever seen before." The officer's hands moved quickly over his console. "It's being broadcast on multiple frequencies, and it's definitely artificial. But it's not from Earth." Tom's coffee pouch slipped from his fingers, floating away forgotten. "Play it." The message filled the room, clear and precise, despite traveling across vast distances of space. "This is Admiral Blue of the Galactic Fleet. Our ships are stranded in an anomaly that has disabled our primary systems. We request assistance from the people of Earth. We mean no harm and offer friendship." The message repeated, cycling through several Earth languages. Tom and his officers stared at each other in stunned silence. "Run every analysis we have," Tom ordered, reaching for the secure line to Earth. "I need to wake up some very important people." Within hours, the world erupted into controlled chaos. Emergency meetings were called in every major government. Scientists worked frantically to verify the signal's origin. Military forces went on high alert, even though they all knew their weapons would be useless against a spacefaring civilization. In Washington, D.C., Tom's face filled a screen in a hastily assembled war room. He had been ordered to make contact. "This is Captain Tom of the International Space Station, representing Earth. We receive your message, Admiral Blue. Please explain your situation." The response came quickly. A holographic image appeared in the space station, making the crew gasp. Admiral Blue stood before them, his 4 eyes and tall frame marking him as definitely not human. "Captain Tom," Blue spoke carefully, "my fleet of 300 ships is trapped in a spatial anomaly approximately 2 light days from your solar system. Our quantum technology is being suppressed by unknown forces within this anomaly. We cannot move, and we cannot call for help from our own people." Tom glanced at his crew, then back at the alien admiral. "Why contact us? Our technology must seem very primitive to you." Blue's expression changed in what might have been a smile. "That is exactly why we contacted you, Captain. Your primitive technology might be our salvation. We observe that you still use chemical rockets and radio waves. These simple but reliable technologies might work where our advanced systems fail." The implications hit Tom like a physical force. These advanced aliens needed humanity's help precisely because humans hadn't yet abandoned the basics of space travel. "Admiral," Tom said carefully, "I'll need to consult with Earth's leaders. But I promise we'll do everything we can to help." The next 48 hours were the most intense in human history. Every space agency on Earth mobilized. Engineers were pulled from retirement. Old rocket designs were pulled from archives. The world united in a way it never had before. In orbit, Tom coordinated with Admiral Blue, learning more about their situation. The aliens watched in fascination as humans immediately began working on practical solutions, using technology that the aliens considered obsolete. "Your people move quickly," Blue observed, watching Earth's activities through the station's feeds. Tom nodded. "We've been dreaming of meeting alien life for centuries, Admiral. Now we have the chance not just to meet you, but to help you. We won't let you down." As he spoke, the first rockets were already being prepared on launch pads around the world. Humanity was about to attempt its greatest space mission ever, a rescue operation using technology that the rest of the galaxy had long forgotten. The next step would require someone who could think differently, someone who could solve impossible problems with limited resources. Earth needed its best engineer, and Tom knew exactly who to call. Kate stood in front of the massive screen, her eyes scanning the data from the alien fleet. The room was filled with the world's best engineers and scientists, but all eyes were on her. She had earned her reputation by solving problems others thought impossible, using whatever tools were available. "The solution is simple," she said, drawing surprised looks from the room. "We're overthinking this because they're aliens, but strip away all the advanced technology, and what do we have? Ships that need to move." She walked to the whiteboard and picked up a marker. Sometimes the old ways were best. "Their quantum drives are useless in the anomaly," she continued, drawing a simple diagram. "But the basics of physics don't change. We need to move objects in space. That's something we've been doing since the 1960s. You can't be suggesting we use chemical rockets to move alien ships," someone in the room protested. "Their smallest vessel is the size of an aircraft carrier." Kate smiled. "That's exactly what I'm suggesting. The aliens' technology is failing because it's too advanced. The anomaly seems to affect anything using quantum mechanics. But our rockets, they're just controlled explosions in a metal tube. Simple, reliable, and most importantly, they work on basic Newtonian physics." The room burst into discussion. Kate kept drawing, showing how traditional rockets could be attached to the alien ships. It wasn't elegant, but it would work. "The biggest challenge," she explained, raising her voice over the chaos, "isn't moving the ships. It's calculating the trajectories. Their computers won't work in the anomaly, and the math has to be perfect." "Then how do we calculate it?" asked one of the younger engineers. Kate reached into her bag and pulled out an old slide rule. The room fell silent. "The same way we got to the moon the first time," she said, holding up the simple calculating device. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." In orbit, aboard the International Space Station, Captain Tom watched as Kate explained her plan to Admiral Blue. The alien leader's 4 eyes widened as he understood what the humans were proposing. "You want to attach chemical-powered rockets to our ships?" Blue asked, his translator struggling to convey his mix of disbelief and hope. "And calculate the trajectories using manual computing devices?" "Yes," Kate replied confidently. "Your quantum computers won't work in the anomaly, but our calculators and slide rules don't rely on quantum mechanics. They're simple, mechanical tools. And these rocket boosters, as you call them," Blue continued, "they will provide enough thrust." Kate nodded, pulling up designs on a paper notepad. "We'll need to build them bigger than anything we've made before, but the principles are sound. The Saturn V rocket that took humans to the moon could lift 130 tons. We'll build something 10 times that size." Blue studied the simple drawings. "My engineers reviewed your historical space launches. You lost many rockets to explosions." "We did," Kate admitted. "But we learned from every failure. Those lessons are written in books, not stored in computers. We can't afford to fail this time. And we won't." The alien admiral was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his tone had changed. "My people have relied on advanced technology for so long, we've forgotten how to solve problems without it. Perhaps we have much to learn from humans." Kate spent the next hours showing Blue and his engineers how humans had first ventured into space. They were amazed by the mechanical computers, the hand-calculated trajectories, and the sheer determination that had taken humanity to the moon with technology that, by galactic standards, was incredibly primitive. "We'll need to launch multiple missions," Kate explained. "First, small ships to test our calculations and the anomaly's effects on our equipment. Then the large rockets to move your ships. Every launch will have to be perfect." "How long?" Blue asked. Kate looked at the calculations spread across her paper notebooks. 2 weeks to build and test the first rockets. Another week to position them. Then we start moving your fleet, one ship at a time. Blue's translator crackled as he responded. 3 weeks to do what our most advanced technology cannot. If you succeed, humanity will have earned a place among the greatest spacefaring races. Kate gathered her papers, slide rule, and calculators. We'll succeed, Admiral. Not because we have the best technology, but because we know how to work without it. Around the world, rocket factories roared to life. The greatest rescue mission in human history had begun. Commander Jack stood on the launch pad, looking up at the massive rocket that would carry him and his crew into history. The Prometheus was the largest chemical rocket ever built by human hands. Its huge frame stretched over 400 feet into the sky, carrying enough fuel to push them deep into space. Final checks complete, Commander. His radio crackled. All systems are green. Jack touched the paper notebook in his pocket, containing all the hand-calculated trajectories and backup plans. In the anomaly zone, they couldn't rely on computers. Everything would depend on basic math and human skill. Crew report in, he ordered, climbing aboard. Navigation ready, came the first response. The navigator had trained for weeks using nothing but a slide rule and paper charts. Engineering standing by. The engine team had stripped away every piece of modern electronics they could, replacing them with simple mechanical gauges. Medical prepared. Their doctor had packed traditional equipment that didn't need computers to work. One by one, the crew of 20 reported ready. They were the best Earth had to offer, specially trained to work without modern technology. Each carried paper manuals and mechanical tools, ready to face whatever the anomaly threw at them. Control, this is Prometheus, Jack said, strapping himself in. We are ready for launch. The countdown began. Around the world, billions watched as humanity attempted its most ambitious space mission. 5 other rescue ships were being prepared at launch sites across the globe, but Prometheus would go first. The rocket roared to life, its simple chemical engines pushing against Earth's gravity with raw power. There were no quantum drives or fancy technology, just controlled explosions and Newtonian physics, just like the space pioneers of old. Look at that thrust output. Admiral Blue commented from the International Space Station, watching the launch with Captain Tom. Such primitive power, yet so effective. As Prometheus climbed higher, other ships began their launches. The rescue fleet took shape in Earth's orbit, each vessel carrying huge rocket boosters that would be attached to the alien ships. The journey to the anomaly took 5 days. Jack and his crew used this time to practice their calculations again and again. They watched as their modern devices began to fail as they approached the purple cloud that had trapped the alien fleet. All ships switched to backup systems, Jack ordered. Around him, screens went dark, replaced by analog gauges and mechanical instruments, just like we trained. They entered the anomaly using only visual navigation and pre-calculated trajectories. Through the windows, Jack could see the massive alien fleet, their beautiful ships hanging motionless in space. Admiral Blue, this is Prometheus, Jack called through a simple radio. We have visual contact. Remarkable, Blue responded. Your vessels are functioning perfectly while our systems remain dead. The rescue ships moved carefully through the alien fleet. Jack watched as his crew worked with paper and pencil, making constant small adjustments to their course. A single mistake could be fatal. They had no computers to correct their errors. Approaching docking position with the first target, Jack announced. The alien ship loomed before them, its sleek design contrasting sharply with the bulky human rocket they would attach to it. Green, the alien engineer, waited at the airlock to help them. He had spent weeks studying human rocket technology, amazed by its brutal simplicity. Your people calculate all this by hand? Green asked as they began attaching the booster. Slide rules and basic math, Jack replied, checking the mounting brackets. Been working fine for over a century. As they worked, Jack noticed the anomaly's purple glow seemed to be intensifying. He made a note in his paper log. Something about this space felt wrong, like it was changing. "All ships, report status," he called. Each rescue ship responded in turn, all reporting successful progress. They were ahead of schedule, working with an efficiency that surprised even the aliens. But as Jack made another note about the anomaly's strange behavior, he didn't know they were about to face a challenge that would test the limits of human ingenuity. The real crisis was just beginning. Kate floated through the alien flagship's engine room, watching as human and alien engineers worked together to attach the massive chemical rockets. The space around them glowed with an increasingly bright purple light from the anomaly. She made another mark in her notebook, tracking the strange changes she'd observed. "The power readings make no sense," Green said, hovering beside her. The alien engineer held up a simple mechanical gauge they'd attached to his ship's systems. "Even with everything shut down, something is draining energy from our vessels." Kate studied the gauge's reading. They'd been installing these basic measuring tools throughout the alien fleet, replacing the advanced sensors that no longer worked. The results were troubling. "Commander Jack," she called through the radio, "how many ships have we fitted with rockets so far?" 52, Jack's voice crackled back. "But Kate, we're seeing something strange out here. The anomaly's boundary is moving." Kate pushed off the wall toward a viewport. The purple cloud that surrounded them had definitely changed. What started as a thin fog had become a thick, swirling mass. She pulled out her slide rule and a paper chart, quickly calculating the rate of expansion. "All teams, stop work," she ordered. "Everyone get back to your ships. Now." "What's wrong?" Green asked, his translator barely handling the concern in his voice. Kate showed him her calculations. "The anomaly isn't just disabling your quantum technology. It's feeding on it. Every quantum drive, every advanced computer. They're all giving it energy. And it's growing stronger." The rescue ships had already moved 15 alien vessels to the edge of the anomaly. But at the rate the purple cloud was expanding, they'd never finish in time. "Admiral Blue," Kate called, pushing her way back to the command bridge. "We need to change plans. The anomaly is going to trap us all if we don't move faster." Blue studied the simple graphs Kate had drawn. Around them, warning lights flickered as more ship systems failed. Even the basic power systems were starting to die. "What do you suggest?" the Admiral asked. Kate spread out her calculations. "We've been moving ships one at a time, being careful. We can't do that anymore. We need to hook up rockets to every ship at once and fire them all together." "The risk," Blue started, "is better than being trapped here forever," Kate finished. "Commander Jack, are you copying this?" "Affirmative," Jack responded. "But Kate, if we try to move all ships at once, we'll need to calculate hundreds of trajectories. Even with every navigator we have, it could take days." Kate pulled out a fresh notebook. "Then we better start now. Get every human who knows how to use a slide rule over here. And bring all the mechanical calculators we have left." The next 12 hours were a race against time. Human crew members worked in shifts, calculating trajectories by hand. They taught alien crew members how to use slide rules, multiplying their calculating power. Green watched in amazement as the humans filled notebook after notebook with calculations. "Your people can keep working like this without computers." "We have to," Kate replied, checking another set of numbers. "Your ship's quantum drives are making the anomaly stronger. The longer we wait, the worse it gets." Through the viewports, the purple cloud grew visibly thicker. The rescue ships worked at full speed, attaching rockets to every alien vessel they could reach. They had brought extra rockets, storing them in the larger alien cargo ships. Now those reserves were being put to use. "Kate," Jack's voice came through the radio. "The anomaly's expansion is accelerating. We've got maybe 6 hours before it grows too large to escape." She looked at the stacks of calculations. They were only halfway done. "We'll find a way, Jack. Humans always do." But as she turned back to her work, Kate knew they were running out of time. The simple solution that had seemed so perfect was no longer enough. They needed something more, a way to fight back against the anomaly itself. And then she saw it. Hidden in the pages of calculations and measurements was a pattern. The answer wasn't in moving the ships. It was in understanding why the anomaly grew stronger around advanced technology. Kate grabbed a fresh page and began writing furiously. They would save the fleet, but not in the way anyone expected. Kate burst onto the flagship's bridge, her notebooks clutched tightly in her hands. Admiral Blue and Commander Jack turned to face her, both surprised by her sudden entrance. "We've been looking at this all wrong," she said, spreading her calculations across a table. "The anomaly isn't just blocking advanced technology, it's consuming it. Every quantum drive we try to start makes it stronger." Jack floated closer, examining her notes. "What are you saying?" "Look at these energy readings." Kate pointed to a series of hand-drawn graphs. "Every time we power up an alien system, even for testing, the anomaly grows. But our chemical rockets, our mechanical tools, they don't affect it at all." Blue's 4 eyes focused on the simple drawings. "The anomaly feeds on quantum energy." "Exactly." Kate pulled out another notebook. "It's like a living thing, growing stronger by absorbing advanced technology. That's why it trapped your fleet. 300 quantum drives in one place must have been irresistible." The purple glow outside the windows had become almost blinding. Warning signals flashed across the bridge as more systems failed. "We have less than 2 hours before the anomaly grows too large to escape," Jack said, checking his mechanical watch. "What do we do?" Kate took a deep breath. "We have to shut everything down. Not just the drives. Every piece of quantum technology on every ship, computers, life support, everything. Make the fleet go completely dark." "That's impossible," Blue protested. "Without power, we'll die." Kate finished. "No, because we brought our own life support systems. Simple, mechanical air scrubbers and battery-powered heaters. We can keep your crews alive without quantum technology." Jack's eyes widened as he understood. "The rockets we attached, they're not just for moving the ships. They're going to power everything." Kate nodded. "Chemical batteries and generators. Old technology, but reliable. If we switch every ship to human equipment, the anomaly will have nothing to feed on." Blue stared out at his fleet, their beautiful ships now looking dim and lifeless in the purple haze. "How long to make the switch?" "An hour, maybe less," Kate said. "We've already installed most of the equipment. We just need to shut down your systems and switch over to ours." "And if you're wrong?" Blue asked quietly. "Then we'll all be trapped here forever," Kate admitted. "But I'm not wrong. The math doesn't lie." Jack pressed his radio button. "All rescue ships, this is Commander Jack. Begin Emergency Protocol 0. I repeat, Protocol 0. Shut down everything advanced and switch to mechanical backups." The response was immediate. Throughout the fleet, human crews began helping alien crews power down their ships. Mechanical gauges replaced quantum sensors. Chemical batteries took over from advanced power systems. Simple radio sets provided communication. The purple glow intensified as the last quantum systems were shut down, as if the anomaly was trying to draw out every last bit of energy it could find. "All ships report ready," Jack announced, "running on basic power only." Kate watched her gauges carefully. "The anomaly's growth is slowing. But we're not done yet." She turned to Blue. "Admiral, we need to move the entire fleet at once. Every ship fires their rockets at exactly the same time." "The calculations," Blue began, "are done." Kate interrupted, patting her stack of notebooks. "We've worked out every trajectory by hand. Your crews know what to do. But Admiral, you have to trust us completely." Blue looked at his dead consoles, then at the simple mechanical tools the humans had installed. Everything his people had relied on for centuries was useless. Their only hope lay in technology they had abandoned generations ago. "Send the order," he said finally. Kate grabbed her radio. All ships, prepare for simultaneous engine burn. Use your mechanical timers. Synchronize. Now. Engine ignition in 10 minutes. As the countdown began, the anomaly's purple glow seemed to pulse angrily. The next few minutes would determine whether their gamble would pay off, or if they would become permanent prisoners of this strange space phenomenon. Kate checked her calculations one final time. Everything depended on getting this exactly right. 30 seconds to ignition, Kate announced, her voice steady despite the tension. Across 300 ships, human and alien crews waited with their hands on simple mechanical controls. Every quantum system was dead, leaving only basic chemical rockets and hand-calculated trajectories to save them. The purple glow of the anomaly pressed against their viewports, angry and hungry for the energy it could no longer reach. Without advanced technology to feed on, it had stopped growing, but it hadn't retreated. 20 seconds, Kate continued, watching her mechanical timer. Around her, Admiral Blue and Commander Jack checked their final positions. There would be no computer guidance, no automatic corrections. Everything depended on precise timing and basic physics. All ships report ready, Jack said, looking at the simple radio system they'd rigged across the fleet. Every crew had confirmed their positions, their trajectories double-checked by hand calculations. 10 seconds, Kate called. She could feel her heart pounding. If her calculations were wrong, if even one ship fired its rockets at the wrong moment, the entire fleet could be lost. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignite. 300 chemical rockets fired simultaneously. The simple explosive force of burning fuel pushed against the anomaly's grip. On every ship, crews watched mechanical gauges, making tiny adjustments with manual controls. First stage burn nominal, Jack reported, checking the readings. All ships maintaining formation. The purple glow began to thin as the fleet moved. Kate watched her measurements carefully. The anomaly was weakening, just as she'd predicted. Without quantum energy to feed on, it couldn't maintain its hold. "We're approaching the boundary," Blue announced, his 4 eyes fixed on the viewport. The edge of the anomaly was visible now, a clear line between purple haze and normal space. Suddenly, one of the alien ships in the middle of the formation began to drift off course. Its rockets were burning unevenly, threatening to push it into other vessels. "Ship 147 is losing alignment," Jack called out. "They'll collision with ship 148 in 30 seconds. Kate grabbed her slide rule and papers. "Ship 147. Adjust your burn angle 3 degrees port. Reduce thrust to 60%. The calculations flowed through her mind as she worked out the correction. "Ship 148. 2 degrees starboard. Maintain current thrust." The endangered ships responded immediately, their crews trusting the human calculations without question. Slowly, their paths stabilized. "Boundary in 10 seconds, Blue announced. The entire fleet held its breath. The first ships broke through the purple barrier. Then more followed. Kate felt a surge of hope as the anomaly's glow began to fade. "We're through," Jack shouted. Behind them, the purple cloud seemed to collapse in on itself, as if angry that its prey had escaped. Cheers erupted across every radio channel. Human and alien crews celebrated together as the fleet emerged into normal space. They had done it, using nothing but basic technology and human ingenuity. "Begin power-up sequence," Blue ordered. One by one, the alien ships came back to life. Their quantum drives hummed, computers reactivated, and advanced sensors once again scanned the stars. Kate watched as the simple mechanical gauges were replaced by holographic displays. The aliens' technology was beautiful, but she noticed many crews kept the human backup systems installed. "Admiral," she said, "what will your people say when they learn how we saved the fleet?" Blue turned all 4 eyes to her. "They will learn what I have learned, that true advancement isn't about having the most sophisticated technology. It's about understanding the basics so well that you can solve any problem, no matter how simple your tools." We'll need to study that anomaly, Jack added. Set up warning beacons to keep other ships away. Yes, Blue agreed. But we'll make sure those beacons use simple radio waves. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. As the fleet set course for Earth, Kate gathered her notebooks and slide rule. These simple tools had saved 300 ships and thousands of lives. The aliens had learned a valuable lesson about the importance of keeping basic skills alongside advanced technology. You know, she said to no one in particular, maybe we're not so primitive after all. The fleet moved through space, its quantum drives now working perfectly. But in every ship, next to the advanced computers and holographic controls, crews kept their mechanical backups ready. They had learned that the simplest solution was often the best one, and that lesson would not be forgotten.